Welcome back to the OAP podcast. I am Coach Brian.
I'm Coach Kyler.
And this is OAP-TV. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Evan. Welcome to the show, Evan.
Thank you.
What's up? What's up? How's everything
thanks
been?
For coming.
Yeah, of course. It's been good, man.
And if you stick around to the end with us, Evan has very graciously brought a very generous gift to give away to one of our viewers from Crush Yard. So, yeah,
Nice.
Stick around until the end to see what that is.
Good. We wanted to see if we could talk to you about a couple things, a couple topics that we have in mind. But first, let everybody know how you came into pickleball.
Yeah, it's a interesting story for me. A lot of people, I feel like, find the game for fun.
Yeah.
They fall in love with it. I found it for work.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You're like, I need some money.
Yeah, exactly. My boss came and was like, hey, we're building pickleball courts. I need a guy. What's funny is looking back, he was almost 60. Played tennis his whole life.
Oh, wow.
And he says, hey, I don't really want to be the pickleball pro.
Okay.
I need somebody to learn. And teaching tennis at the time, I just was like, okay, I guess I'll go figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I Googled pickleball. The first time I Googled pickleball.
Okay, you actually Googled it.
I did. So I'm not on social media.
Yeah.
Right. I missed the whole COVID explosion. Yeah. And so I missed all of that. And I guess I started playing in 2022, in June of 2022. And so I missed that whole wave, right? I Google pickleball and I find Clear One in North Orlando, and went out there on like a random Tuesday afternoon, first time playing.
Yeah.
Checked in at the front desk, didn't have a paddle, rented a head radical for $2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out.
That's about how much they're worth. Yeah.
That's the official
Shout out to
beginner
Ed.
Yes,
It is,
exactly.
right? That and the Z5.
Yes, the Z5. Yeah.
Sure.
Right when I started playing, I guess the Z5 was kind of phasing out.
Oh, okay.
So that was one of the paddles.
And then the
that,
tennis players come in and they're like, man, Head makes such great rackets.
Yeah, right?
They must make great paddles too.
I've been asked so many times, what do you think about this paddle? I'm like, you need that trash can over there. Just walk over there and throw it in.
It's funny you say that. I looked at the wall of paddles that they had at Clear One that I could rent, and I did exactly that. Brand recognition, Head, let's go. But I found a group of, I did an afternoon drop-in.
Mm-hmm.
And I played for the first time ever with a group of older ladies, all kind of in their 60s and 70s. But by the time that I had gone to play, I had absorbed probably, I don't know, somewhere between an hour and 2 hours of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right. So, because again, I was coming into this, how do I learn how to actually play pickleball? Right. And playing with these women, it just sort of reinforced that I didn't want to just blast the ball at them. I didn't want to play tennis on the pickleball court. And one of the ladies, I got so lucky, to be honest. One of the ladies, her name was Jennifer Anderson. I have not seen her since. So Jennifer, if you're out there, thank you so much.
There you go.
She insisted that I go and meet Tony G.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Everybody should. Yeah.
So my first day playing pickleball, I played for 2 hours with these ladies. A couple of them didn't want to play with me because I was a beginner. And then a couple others fought for me. And I ended up playing 2 hours with them. And afterwards went and met Tony. Jennifer introduced me to Tony. Mm-hmm. And I told him, hey, I'm a teaching pro. At the time I was working at the Four Seasons Resort here in Orlando. Yeah. And I told him kind of what I told you guys. I'm doing this for a job. How do I go about it? Right.
Yeah.
And he just gave me the run, the game plan he's like, hey, do this over the next 2 months, train this way, get these certifications, and then come see me in 3 or 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
And just set me off on that path. And what's funny is after about a week, I was absolutely hooked.
Yeah.
Just completely.
Were you hooked enough to be no more tennis?
Oh yeah. Yeah, every
Yeah,
time I was
okay.
on the tennis court, I was like choking up on the racket, like trying to push the ball to people. Like I didn't want to over pronate. Like I was like
Trying to do rolls.
Yeah.
Tennis with a big old tennis racket.
Yeah.
Working on your third shot drop in the middle of a singles game.
Yes. Every junior lesson that I had, I was so excited because I'm like, all right, I can literally just play pickleball with this little kid, like on the tennis court.
That's too funny.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I was hooked, and I started slowly over time just shifting that direction. Right. I knew after a few months that, okay, like this is an opportunity and something that I want to run with. And then just got lucky enough that I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So now I get to do it for work and love it.
That's awesome. You played with a few players, and we both played like with the players, that we have like in common, like somebody like Roger. I remember playing, it was you, me, Roger, and Ed.
Yeah.
ORS. You remember that? That was like,
Yes.
I don't know, like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, as far as like your journey, like in pickleball, were you trying to like see how far you could go? Were you just like, are you like that ambitious of like, I'm going to make pro, I'm going to go all the way, I'm going to be one of those guys on there? Or did you just say, I want to get really good and then find that opportunity to be that good and then have that name for work?
Yeah. I would say it's a combination. That's a good question, because it's hard to say when I shifted out of like, hey, I'm just doing this for work. And when I fell in love with it and realized like, okay, I'm pretty decent at this and wanted to train. But I think it was just like anything I do, I always am just all in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call that, addiction, personality, right? I get into something, fall in love with it, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm doing this,
you're
30
like
hours a
zoned
week.
in.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the only thing you want to do with any sort of
Yeah.
free leisure time. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a point, definitely. Ed, you mentioned Ed, Ed Perez, shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ed's my guy. So he was a big inspiration at the beginning because, he told me his story, and I saw the progress that he made, and we used to go out and drill, 5-6 hours a week at least together. And
Cool.
playing with him definitely sharpened my skills to the point where I was like, okay, like I want to keep progressing, basically just get as good as I can, whether that's pro, whether that's 5-0, whatever it
seeing
is.
how far you can make it take you anyways. Like, okay, cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And then now, up to now, what are you doing now?
Yeah. So now I'm the director of pickleball for Crush Yard.
Yard?
Yeah, baby. Let's go. But yeah, I've been working for Crush Yard since September. So I was hired before our Orlando location opened back in September, and did a lot of grassroots efforts early on, and then have been working as the corporate director for the last couple months for all of our facilities.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a big deal.
Say that.
It's like, I would say that. Humble guy. I'd be like, I am Crush Yard. No. Let's could we talk about the name?
Yeah.
If I'm a person and I have no idea what pickleball is,
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what Crush Yard is, which to me, Crush Yard is one of the best places. It's like a Dave & Buster's for pickleball.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what Dave & Buster's is, just you're going to enjoy something.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't enjoy the games, you'll enjoy the food. If not, then you'll enjoy the drink, something. You're going to enjoy something.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I don't know pickleball and I see Crush Yard, I'm going to keep driving.
Right.
I don't know what the hell that is.
And I'd wonder Dave & Buster's early on, Dave & Buster's to me sounds like an auto mechanic shop. And now we associate it with having a great time, arcade games, good food.
Same, because I didn't know about Dave & Buster's. Somebody told me about Dave & Buster's. And they didn't know about it. They were just hanging out, and they were walking on International Drive. And they were like, what is that? And why does it have, does it have like 2 or 3 stories? What the hell is it? And then they go in there, and then they had told me about it. And I'm like, it's a what?
Yeah.
It's a restaurant, play, freaking drink bar thing. I'm like, what the hell? And then I went, and I was like, this is a cool place. So that would be the same thing. But I mean, the location is on 192. Is that considered Is that in Kissimmee?
Yeah, we're still in Kissimmee.
Okay.
Kind of on the far west side of Kissimmee,
Yeah.
so very close to 429, right next to Margaritaville.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Kissimmee more towards St. Cloud, and then that one's going toward, like Celebration. It's like 40 minutes from me, but I didn't know if it was still considered Kissimmee.
Yeah, still a Kissimmee zip code, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right next to the parks, right? We're going to do a lot of tourism, a lot of tourists coming through.
It's a good location. I mean, to get those tourists too, it's right there, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely a good place to hang out whenever normally if my wife and daughter know that I'm going to play pickleball, they're just like, oh yeah, fine, whatever, bye, go have fun. But if they know I'm going to Crush Yard, then they're like, hey, can we come? Like, let's grab a bite to eat, let's hit the arcade,
Yeah, I mean, it's they have all types of stuff. My wife, she went to go play in a group, and then I took the kids. So I was just with the kids, and she was playing the whole time.
I saw you that day. I remember that.
Yeah. So we played in one part of where they have the ping pong and the cornhole and everything. We were there for a while, and then we went to the arcade, because we were there for like I would say like a good hour, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, we got to go. And they're like, no. I'm like, we're going to the arcade. And they're like, there's an arcade? I'm like,
I remember you guys busting out the Candyland and the Jenga.
Yeah. Because after that, we came back to where my wife was playing. And they, you guys have couches there, tables, super comfortable. And they have the board games. And we love board games. We have umpteen board games in the freaking closet there. So, yeah, we started playing that. And it's awesome. I mean, it's definitely designed to just hang out, and you'll have a good time no matter what. So,
yeah, it's a perfect example of what we're trying to do,
Yeah.
We always talk about there's three phases of the day with Crush Yard, right? We have our morning open play session, which is going to be like our most competitive session, right? And anybody can come, right? But we have a core group of people that have been there since the beginning who come regularly, 3, 4, 5 mornings a week. And then all of a sudden after, 10 a.m., we're going into all of our classes, clinics, lessons.
Yeah.
A lot of our afternoon drop-ins for seniors. And, then in the evening, it's exactly what you described.
Yeah.
Right. It's court reservations, families. Half the time people don't know the rules even. And it's awesome. Right. You can see that sort of organic growth of the sport. And that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that place. I mean, you guys stole a couple of my clients, but that's fine. Don and Valerie.
Yeah. They're great too. They're so fun.
Dang. Haven't heard from them in ages. I'm like, no, but I told them it's an awesome place for them to just have fun and everything. So it's definitely cool.
So what do you think is the biggest difference between sort of just being a player and actually sort of running a facility?
Oh man, yeah. Being a player, right? It's just selfish. It's me.
Yeah.
Right. What groups can I get in?
Yeah.
I'm better than all these people. I need to be playing with better groups. And all of a sudden you're running the place and you're seeing all that.
Yeah.
And how do I navigate that in a way? How do I structure programming? How do I set things up that sort of eliminates as much as possible, or at least caters to what people want? So yeah, it's a totally different animal on the other side of the glass. But for me, I would say my background working at the Four Seasons, totally different, right? 5-star resort, kind of everything was about service, right? So I kind of brought that to Crush Yard, but at the same time, you have to push back. Like you can't just let people's complaints or individual wishes direct your programming.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because then you're just obligated into that one specific.
Yeah, so I've really just focused on what do I do for the health of the club,
Right.
Yeah.
right? For the health of the player base, and but yeah, I mean that was a learning curve for sure at the beginning.
Yeah, one of the hardest things I've always found about trying to organize tournaments and events is trying to differentiate when people's sort of complaints, feedback, criticism are valid and when they're just sort of sour grapes because they didn't do good that day. They didn't like the format because they lost, not because there's anything wrong with the format or like the thing they're saying. You know, if we changed a certain thing, they're saying that it would create X, Y, and Z problem down. Like it would make way more problems than it's solving. Or did they just have a bad day? Were they unhappy with like their partners, their playing group?
Yeah, because I do clinics and I run tournaments, and you're not going to please everybody.
No,
there's always going to be one or a few people that get in on, like they say something. Oh yeah, me too. Blah blah blah, whatever. But it's like, if the majority are good, then it's a go.
Yeah.
But just because of a few people, you're not gonna be like, okay, let me change everything.
And there are some people too who like if they lose, they'll just never be happy with sort of anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, you lost.
Yeah.
Some people, it's super important to them that they have to win.
I have found, though, it's funny, everyone just wants to be heard. Everyone just wants to be listened to. So it's funny, you'll get those people who complain, and it's like, as long as I'm genuinely listening to whatever it is that they're concerned about or frustrated with, it's amazing. There's been certain complaints that, my first reaction was like, okay, this is ridiculous. And then all of a sudden I find something in that complaint that I had overlooked. I'm like, oh, okay, wait a second. There's something to this. So yeah, different perspective. Because I think a lot of that comes from the level too. Yeah. I don't know about your guys' experience, but like, in a lot of ways, my pickleball journey, I sort of skipped with my background a lot of that player development process from the 2.5 to the 4.0 mark.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I did not.
Yeah, you kind of started from scratch.
I played a 3.0 tournament and got my butt kicked after playing for a couple months.
And you were like 1.5.
I was like, wow, I am not a 3.0.
So yeah, I definitely stayed in that for a couple of years because I had no background either.
Yeah.
So I started from scratch and I was like, this is not natural to me. I'm gonna be here for a while. But you probably just went like straight to like 4.0.
Yeah, well, I mean, arguably, but I was fortunate just having like the skill set, right? I didn't know what I was doing out there, but I had the shots to where I was fortunate enough that people were willing to play with me, right? Early on, and so I kind of missed that whole struggle for a lot of players go through.
Okay,
and I kind of wish, with my role now, that I had sat in that phase a little bit longer because I could sort of relate or at least see the issues that go on with that. And one of the things that we're trying to do really is take our 101 class, right? We have a complimentary 101 class every day at 10 a.m., right? Where we're spending an hour.
Go, Kyler.
Come on out.
Wait, tell me more.
I'm in. How to serve, to the scoring.
Yeah, he needs all that.
Perfect.
Just kidding.
But like creating that pipeline for people, because so many people, the frustrations come from their inability to play with people at their level. Like if you boil down all the complaints at the end of the day, it has something to do with them feeling, even in a tournament, right? They lost and they feel, oh, that guy's a sandbagger. Right. There's an issue with that guy in their division because they're not at their level. So like, I feel like that's where the emotion comes from most people when they're making those complaints. So just creating that pipeline for people to develop. Yeah. Right. In a fun environment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. One of the biggest challenges that I always had sort of coming up from, the very bottom, sort of 2.0, 2.5 level,
right,
up to like the 3.0 level that I'm at now, is that
3.3?
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Is that it was very mystifying to try to understand why the game looked like it did at the pro level, why there's so much dinking and dropping and stuff, because I was basically playing in a community group where everybody started at that bottom level and we all sort of worked our way up together, more or less.
Yeah.
And so essentially nobody had the skills to hit drop shots. nobody could sustain a dink rally, and anybody who just like, whoever sort of hit it hard first ended up winning because nobody had the volleying and racket skills to effectively counter that.
Right.
So, and I remember just being very sort of confused as to why in higher level games you see so much of that, but if you tried to apply it, you just sort of get blasted. And then the other thing is there were a couple very high level tennis players who were in the community, and so that they would come and just apply tennis and hit it hard, and the 3-0s couldn't touch them, right? And we're like, this is how we should be playing. Like, we should be emulating these tennis bangers. And then you watch the pro game and you're like, why are they just hitting everything as soft as they can? Like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, it's all that strategy that.
Yeah, and then if you want to progress in those skills, but you can't apply them effectively in a game.
Right.
So that can be very frustrating. I think,
again, boils down to the level, right? Playing with people at your level.
Again,
it's a tough thing.
And there can be people who have been playing pickleball for a few months and love pickleball, but if someone's applying 15, 20 years of tennis experience, that's just going to trump, the 3 months of pickleball skills that you've developed sort of every time.
Right.
Yeah.
And lack of confidence because of it, thinking that you need to go that route, and not realizing they've been playing tennis 20 years. It's like, dude, you don't want to learn how to rip a forehand drive. You're going to go the other direction.
Exactly.
Right? Like, yeah.
Did you want another one?
I'll have one. Yeah. You got a Modelo? Yeah, man. All the Crush Yard staff, if they see this, they're going to laugh. That's the only thing I drink after when I'm off the clock. That's the only thing. Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
Let's go.
Cheers. Awesome. Cheers. You got that Heineken, and he double dips, probably. That.
I just want to give a quick congratulations to the winners of our free gear comment. That's going to be Adam, Fatboy, and Jesse. We will be in touch shortly, and you will receive your prize. Thank you for commenting.
Awesome. Thank you. What about the OAP registration at Crush Yard?
Yeah, we have sort of two big events coming up. It's going to be Crush Yard Season 2 of the Team League. That's going to be starting on April 15th, Tuesday, and going until May 20th.
Nice.
We got 10 teams signed up, so don't wait. The spots are filling up fast. And you can sign up on officialoap.com. We also have our first summer tournament coming June 6th to 8th. And that is going to be at Orlando Racket Sports. We're going to have the whole thing's going to be air conditioned, so it'll be one of the only places you can do a tournament in the summer. And our early registration discount is still active, so your first event will be $50. So don't wait and don't miss out on that early registration discount.
Nice. And for that Crush Yard one is the Crush Yard. Whatever their name was.
Crush Yard Crushers.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were on that team. My bad. They're not playing, right? We don't want them to play, right?
Yeah. I got to say, you guys, I was so happy that with the way that turned out. The league was, I'm not saying that because our team won. I just mean the way you guys run the league. Anybody watching that has never played in one of your events or your leagues, like, the vibe, it's great, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think we're able to kind of bring that hangout atmosphere, right? A lot of facilities you're not able to really just relax, have fun, have a beer, right? Eat some chicken wings. And I don't know,
it's way different at Crush Yard. It's just a different vibe for sure. And everyone that I encountered there said the same thing, that they loved the vibe, that it was so different and playing in different places. And then after the league is over, everybody's just hanging out. And it's like, I think these guys want us to go. They want to go home, but we're there. But it's just, you just get caught up, you know what I mean? Because it's so comfortable there. And I think that's a huge thing that Crush Yard has. It makes you feel very comfortable.
And you guys did such a great job with the levels.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right? So it was very competitive within different levels to do one ladder like that and to sort of be playing all together but still get your good games in. props to you guys.
Yeah.
That was great format.
Thanks,
It's
I
awesome.
appreciate that. Yeah, that was. I think that was one of our biggest successes from a format standpoint. Was that we really did make it accessible to all levels, and I think pretty much everyone from 5-5 to 2-5 was having fun most of the time out there, and we were
everybody had
technically all in the same league.
Yeah,
basically.
And the fact you made the decision with the prizes, right? Like it's not going to the winner of the league. We're raffling things off every week.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody can win. Any of the things that we're raffling, any of the prizes. So that was cool. I think that.
Nice. we had great players, but it wasn't like a cutthroat thing. We want to be sort of fair and inclusive to everyone who signs up and plays. And the other thing I was most pleasantly surprised about was how many spectators we got, because that is not common. But I think
a lot of people.
Most of the players seem to have somebody come to watch at least a few of the weeks, and there were just as many spectators as players, which is not something you normally get in like a weekly league format at all.
Yeah, and that was I noticed that a lot on the last day.
Yeah,
and everybody was like cheering for that person that they were there for on that team, and that was really cool.
Yeah, you don't get as much crowd noise as most weekly leagues. I can tell you that. For sure.
Going back to what you said, I saw your wife and daughter there quite often.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they'd be mad if I didn't include them.
Of course,
that's great.
Gone all the day on time.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of the Crushers, just to throw that out there for anybody that might be following
the Crush Yard team.
Crush Yard team. Yeah. So we're gonna split.
Okay.
We're gonna split. We're gonna have 2 teams.
Ooh.
Right. And if anybody comes to Crush Yard often, you'll know Steve-O, Juan, who work up at the front desk with us.
Cool. Yeah.
Characters.
Yeah.
And I would say at that like kind of 4-0 level, right? We're gonna split our team that won this past year into 2 teams.
Oh, okay.
Right. Split those players up, and then we're going to add in staff members. So we've got Josh, who works behind the bar 3 or 4 nights a week. He's playing.
Yeah.
Erica, our assistant GM, she's going to be in the mix.
She's awesome.
So it's going to be us, the same players from season 1, but playing and mixing in with our coworkers on the F&B side. So it's not all going to be pickleball pros playing on one team together. We're going to mix it up, which will make things interesting.
That's cool. Yeah.
So so you're saying I have a better chance at gold next season.
We'll see. We won't talk too soon, buddy. It's trying to celebrate soon over here. I don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out how much I have to stack my team to carry me.
Yeah, like last time.
Anything you say like that too, it just motivates our bartender. He's out there. Josh, he's training, dude.
Yeah,
he's grinding.
He's coming for us.
He's getting off the clock, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm representing."
I'm just adding fuel to the fire.
Bags. Yeah. It's got Kyler's picture on the body bag. Oh man!
But yeah, great job with the league. I'm excited for season 2. We got 10 days until the start.
Yeah, it's like
a
week. And it's going to be Tuesdays again?
Yep.
Cool. I like that. Let's get into what we were talking about earlier, the PPA.
Oh, baby.
Eric. Man.
Yeah, my God.
Did you get to see that?
I haven't seen the match yet. I did see the result, though, and the sort of post-match celebration. That was...
Man. Well, then spoiler alert. You know what I mean? So what did... People are saying, Eric is legit. The first upset that he did, and that should tell you right there already, like the first one that he did, like already, he has multiple upsets. For me, he's crazy legit.
Oh, yeah.
Play with him, play with his pops. I mean, they are crazy awesome. And what's your take on him teaming up with Frazier?
Oh, I mean, I think that's proof right there. Like, as outsiders, we watch, PPA matches and have our takes. But when a player like Dylan is going to, he's ready to partner with you, shows. Those guys train together all the time. They know each other's games.
Yeah.
Eric's been on this just astronomical rise, and all the other players know it. And it's just proof. You get him with a top 5 right side guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
solid and yeah.
He's young, man.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a lot of young guys out there, but and he's been playing a long time, but he never took it that seriously.
Right.
You know, tennis background, elite tennis background, played in college, and you know, it's cool to see as somebody, you know, seeing him 2 or 3 years ago when I first started.
Yeah.
And, you know, at that point feeling like, okay, like he's very good, but I can hang with him. And now seeing him, it's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
This guy's a monster.
He is.
So happy for him. Yeah.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
When
so
when
awesome.
the first time.
So he just he recently made the semifinals. Is that
Yep.
right? Yeah, just this weekend.
Yeah, beat Alshon and Diescu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
huge.
solid victory.
That is a very solid victory.
Yeah.
The one that he did the upset, the other one that he did, was it the past? Was it the past?
Mixed win?
Was it that one when he did with Alex?
Yeah,
Alex
I think
Friday?
against Alshon as well.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that a lot of people were commenting that, you know, he just has Alshon's number, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people are they like to stir the pot.
Yeah.
They're in the comments doing
Definitely.
this stuff. You know what I mean? But I mean, he played like a beast on that game. So did Alex. Alex was freaking crazy. The last point was her backhand. She hit like, I don't know, 95 backhands in a row. Not that many, but she was just like bang, 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 and then they won the point, and then they won the whole match. But for me, he's definitely a threat. He's coming.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming up, and like you said, when you partner him up with a solid, because you can have a solid player, and if they don't have that other player, they're just not going to do, you know, great anyways. And I think that he's on his way to do great things, and people are going to get used to his name because he's going to still be there.
Yeah, he's, I mean, everything is pointing in that direction. It's just great for us being here in Central Florida. I mean, in my opinion,
Yeah.
to have, right? Everybody
Yeah.
talks about South Florida, right? Eric's from basically lived here in Claremont for
Yeah.
years, and to have somebody in this area at that level, I know he's training in Boca and Nashville, but you know, we got a hometown guy finally.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
I love that. You know,
And you
Yeah.
don't see many. You don't really see many fluke runs and doubles either. Like anyone who's
Right.
getting that deep in the tournament consistently, I think you pretty much know they're legit. Whereas singles sometimes, you know, a random player can get really hot for like a tournament or two, and you think they're going to be like the next big thing, and then you never really hear from them again. But
Yep.
there's
Yeah, 'cause
it's never really happened. And like once people start breaking that barrier into like quarterfinals, semifinals multiple times, it, you know, usually means they're there to stay, and they're, you know, one of the top 20-ish players now,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, that's a good point. Singles, you can there's a bigger, you know, variation in
Yeah.
performance. I think so much that's so physical. How are you feeling
Yeah.
physically? Right.
Yeah, that's
Whereas,
the
like,
Do you still play singles? Did you ever like? You never played
No.
it like in tournaments?
Oh yeah, no, I did. I did.
right?
I did.
But you stopped.
Yeah.
I saw you almost win 2,000, couple points away from winning $2,000 one
Oh,
time.
I just had to bring that one.
Oh, boy.
Oh man, that was about the time I stopped playing singles. Yeah. When I walked away with a couple $100, I'm like, no more of this.
You were
Yeah.
like, that's it.
Oh man, the singles is great because it as a tennis player, it definitely feels like tennis out there.
Yeah.
It's just relying on yourself. But to your point about the runs people can go on, I think you have to feel physically so good
Yeah.
to really bring your best stuff. And I don't know that that's sustainable. I mean, we see guys who on at the top level doing it.
Yeah.
But for a lot of players, that's not. It's just not possible. you
Well,
know?
I mean, I love singles, but I'm not 20. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I got 4 kids, and I got, you know, all this other stuff that I do, and I can't. You see these single players on the tour, and they have all types of recovery. You know, they're crazy athletic. They're, you know, all these things. I'm like, I got 4 kids. I'm
Oh,
in
yeah,
my
yeah.
40s.
Yeah.
I drink my beer. This is my recovery type of thing. And I play singles, and I can't. I'll never play a to that level. I'll always try to play as much as I can to see where I can go. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's when you're playing at that level, that hard, being young, athletic, and having that time to recover. I think recovery is everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think there's also a pretty hard physical limit. It's in terms of sort of how big and fast you are, just your ability to come up to the net and actually cover the whole net by yourself and, not be passed by these, really high level pickleball players.
Right.
And like so much of that is, just comes down to genetics, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't consider myself the most athletic person in the world. When you get up to that net in singles, it's kind of like, I mean, you have to really guess where they're going. There's a lot of that anticipation, and it's like an explosive movement. Oh, yeah. So, and especially being 5'8" short, it's not 5'8" tall. I'm short. And I have to come all the way over here. I have to explode to go that way.
Yes.
And then I have to come over here, and it's like, and then if they do, like your cat and mouse, which I freaking love. I love that.
Yep.
That's explosive movement too, because you're just waiting, and then boom, you have to explode to go one way.
And if you look at the guys who are at the top with those builds, elite athletes, small guys, but Jaume, Federico. I mean, Federico is a beast, man. You might not see it looking at him, but the guy is fit. Yeah. It's interesting. It's not really solved, I don't think, in singles. You're seeing a lot of guys staying back now with the paddle technology, playing more tennis style, kind of like the girls or the women were doing a few years ago. Right. It's interesting. It's I like watching singles. I just don't want to play at that level.
You're like, they can have it. I'll watch it all day, but I'm not playing it. It's too much for a lot of people. A lot of people are really good in doubles, in gender and mixed. And it's like, what about singles? They're like, no, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? It's like, they'll watch it. Like you say, they'll watch it all day, and it's interesting to them, but they just won't do it. It's too much on their body.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because that was sort of the initial appeal of pickleball for a lot of people, was as they aged out of tennis, hockey, basketball, all that other stuff. They were like, hey, I can still play this fairly physical sport at like a pretty high level. Yeah. And, you don't have to cover quite as much. And now it's funny, at least singles is becoming sort of the same way, where you just have to be at that like peak level of athleticism to, really compete with top players.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. It's not for your average pickleball player, I think. You definitely have to be in tip-top shape, for sure.
I think they're more prone to injury even than tennis players in a lot of ways. I mean, tennis, obviously, grind. I'm not comparing the two in terms of what's required physically, but that short court, those fast, explosive movements, tennis, you can sort of gate into a lot of your strokes. The footwork is totally different. People don't realize how much of a beating those guys' feet go through playing singles. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah,
it is. It is.
The other crazy thing, too, is that a lot of those guys playing singles then are also playing doubles and mixed doubles that same weekend on tour.
Yeah. And then they do the singles first. It's like, we want to beat you down first.
Yeah, go kill yourself out there.
I've never understood that.
And then grind.
And like the first time that I did all three events, I think it was either Punta Gorda or somewhere in Bonita Springs. I don't know. But I was like, wait, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this can't be right. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why are you going to beat me down and I'm going to be crazy tired, and then I have to play mixed?
Yeah.
Which is sort of kind of singles?
Yeah.
And then I get to play. Why can't I? Why isn't it backwards? Never got that. Never understood that. Like, it makes more sense to you to do singles first, mix and gender, or is it gender?
Only thing I can think of is like with a lot of these tournaments in terms of how many players,
Right.
right? So it's funny you asked earlier, being a player versus on the other side of the fence running a facility. Now I think like from a tournament perspective, right? You're doing singles tournaments, especially in amateur draws.
Yeah.
You got half the number of players.
Right.
You got half the registrants. You got half the fees associated with it. So I can see how like on a weekday, on a Thursday, it's like you get your hardcore singles players out there. You don't want them there on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we can really pack the place out.
Yeah.
I don't know though. That's the only thing that I can really think of.
My guess would be because the PPA is striving to be an entertainment product, and so what they're looking for is spectators, sponsors, and TV deals.
Right.
So the answer, my guess, would be probably has something to do with like they want the premier events playing at sort of premier times.
Okay.
Is that like probably most spectators and stuff get there early in the day, and what they want to see is the doubles and the mixed doubles, and then sort of and so you get the singles out of the way type of a deal, and then when it sort of peaks in terms of spectators and whatnot, then you put on your premier events.
Yeah, so I mean it could be a mixture of that, and then thinking of
I was thinking more like amateur events, when you get the 4-0 singles bracket going.
Definitely.
PPA is kind of different. I think you're right. I think it's more about the TV deals and everything else, primetime hours.
Yeah, because they want more people watching.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, so much of the PPA is sort of geared towards trying to get a TV deal, because that's what's going to ultimately catapult pickleball as a spectator sport and as an entertainment product. Like that's what's going to catapult it to that next level.
Do you see it staying like Pickleball TV, or do you see them going into more like NBC, freaking whatever? Like how that?
I mean, it really comes
NBA on NBC tonight at 8. Like don't miss whatever.
With Shaq and Charles Barkley commenting on pickleball games.
Not Barkley.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, I think, the PPA's sort of number one goal. And I mean, like, that's where all the money is in terms of them as a product.
Okay.
I don't know if pickleball is a good enough spectator sport to get there. Like
for now, anyway.
Yeah, like I enjoy watching it, but I'm like a pickleball junkie. I don't know if I had no interest in pickleball, if I would particularly enjoy watching it over like some of the other spectator sports.
Well, what about now? Like, do you guys like? I mean, I don't think anybody likes watching it more than they like playing it.
Right.
But do you like watching it in general?
Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah. Like, is it where it's like you have to watch these matches, or you'll watch them if you have time, or you'll watch them if you just come across them? Like how much do you enjoy watching it?
For me, it's more seeing the development and evolution of the game. I like watching it because, I remember 2 years ago when you never sped up in transition.
Right.
And now we're watching guys just rip from 4 feet behind the baseline as they're crashing. Yeah. And like, I just absorbing as much as I can for for my own game. So, I mean, there is a little bit of that when I can't play. I enjoy watching it just to see what are the top players doing, how is the game changing?
That makes complete sense, because I'm a little bit in the same way, because I want to see pickleball progress like crazy. And then from when I started, like 5 years ago, and it was like the paddles, just everything, who was coming in playing, what was the strategy, all types of stuff. It changed 2 years after that. And then it changed the year after that. And then it changed like 6 months after that. And I love living in this era of pickleball, of it growing. You know what I mean? Because I think it's still in the beta stage right now. And we're not going to see the paddles are still doing crazy stuff with the technology. The balls that we were talking about, because they were trying to make 3D printed balls.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like super quiet, but I like to see how they're playing now, like at that level. I'm not a 7.2, obviously. I'm a 4.2, as we said. But seeing that, it really does help a lot of your game, no matter what level you are, right? And then, I mean, you have like your favorite players and stuff like that, but yeah, I can see all of that. When I got injured, I injured my calf, not in singles. I thought I would always injure myself in singles and in doubles, but I injured my calf and I couldn't walk for about 3 months. And holy crap, I studied the hell out of Ben Johns. I studied the hell out of Tyson McGuffin. I studied, when that happened, it was Lee Waters and Alan Lee.
Mm-hmm.
They were still playing. I was studying them. I was studying a lot, and I was just watching, and that's all I would do. I was completely useless, on my couch. That's what my wife called me anyway for 3 months. Useless? No. But I just watched it. There's so many things that I watched, and then I would like write things, and so I like watching it because of those different things. Yeah. But I don't know if people just...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you guys said, but everything you just said sort of only applies to the hardcore pickleball junkies.
Yeah.
And it's tough to I think get the millions of viewers that you need on a weekly basis to actually make it sort of a national entertainment product if that's the reason that we're all tuning in to watch regularly.
I don't think it's far from it. I mean, they all the Yola guys just came back from Asia, and did you see that?
No.
Agassi and Ben Johns and everybody, they just came back, and this is their first tournament coming back. I mean, Anna Bright was saying that she was still jet lagged and everything, but they said it was a humongous turnout.
Yeah.
That in different parts of Asia that they went, can't remember exactly where they went, but it was humongous, and that they were saying that this thing is blowing up more than they thought it was, like at the moment. Like they thought it was going to get pretty big, like maybe in the next year or whatever, but it's like, holy crap, it's really big. It's progressing, and it's like rapidly
happening now.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at the India League.
Yeah.
Ed went over there.
Ed went over there.
Played in the India League.
And huge.
Yeah. And
really going to take over cricket. I don't know about cricket. There's like 8 billion people in the world. That's 7 billion.
Ambitious.
8 billion people in the world, and like 7 billion people watch friggin' cricket. It might not take over cricket, but
I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years, some of those other countries kind of surpass us.
Yeah.
In potentially player development, number of players, producing some of the top players. I mean, you give some of those countries with their racket sports backgrounds 10 years.
Right.
Who knows? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have all types of stuff. And Asia was saying, because they were saying that Asia was going to build like thousands of courts because they kind of wanted to do the same thing that they were doing in ping pong. They were just like on ping pong crazy, and they wanted to take over ping pong. And they're saying that they want to do the same thing with pickleball. I'm like, everybody's in trouble if that's what they're trying to do, because they proved it once before that they could do something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that once we start getting sort of, top level lifetime ping pong players from those top countries, that experience is going to trump the sort of tennis experience that a lot of the top level pickleballers from this country are bringing to the table?
I don't know. My thought is potentially yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
like it has the potential to do it.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Kitchen play. I mean, that's what every tennis player is trying to figure out.
Yeah.
For the first couple of years, right? No matter how talented they are, it doesn't make sense. But I feel like, it's more intuitive for table tennis players,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And it's great playing different players that have different backgrounds. Like the tennis, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, this guy's just like ripping this thing. And then you go bloop, and it goes in the kitchen. They're like, what do I do with this? Smack!
Rip it.
You know,
Yeah.
it goes straight into the net. Then you have all wrist, badminton,
Yeah.
ping pong players. They have different styles of playing, and even squash. They
Mhm.
slice the living crap out of that thing. I love playing different people that have like the different backgrounds. Yeah.
You know, hot take, right? Golf.
Okay.
Golf backgrounds.
Yeah.
I have met a ton of golfers that have become good players. I played a lot of golf, and I feel like in a way that helped me.
Really.
I'm not going to say it helped me more than tennis getting started,
Right.
but to get better faster. I mean, golf. There's a huge translation there.
Is there like a specific area that it helped you in?
Yeah. Oh, it's just touch, right?
Okay.
Like everybody, I was at the beginning trying to learn the soft game as a tennis player, and in golf, chipping the ball, hitting pitch shots, right? When you're 20, 30 yards away from the green, understanding loft. That's essentially what it is, right? Learning how to dink and understanding trajectory of the ball,
Right.
spin on the ball, loft of the paddle. I in a lot of ways, I think golf more than anything else, right? Tennis mechanics don't really make sense up at the kitchen line, but I do feel like it's a lot of the same mechanics in a way that help you hit some of these shots. Specifically with setting your wrist at certain angles, pushing through, controlling the path of the paddle.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few golfers in the local area that are pretty advanced, like 5-0 plus players.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out David Nell.
Yeah, David.
Right? David's solid golfer. Mark Johnston.
When he's not injured.
Yeah.
David's always injured because of golf.
It's an excuse.
Yeah, that's an excuse.
I
I didn't know golf was so physical.
Yeah, full contact golf.
Yeah,
he's playing
that's
there.
what he plays in South Africa. 'Cause Jesus, he's an awesome guy though.
But it's true. It's I do think John Ed. We talked about the Crushers earlier.
Yep.
Johnny on our team,
Mm-hmm.
no racket sports background at all. Has been playing 2 years, and he's a +4 handicap golfer.
Okay.
And he's a solid 4-5 pickleball player. And the touch, like right away, he had that hand-eye coordination.
Right.
Golf club's tiny, golf ball's tiny.
Yeah.
Your sweet spot.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
get
like a
that sweet spot
centimeter.
on that club. Yeah, for sure.
There's something there. I'm not saying that it's going to compete with tennis and pickleball, but
Right. But it definitely helps. So if you're a tennis player, quit tennis, go to pickleball. Quit pickleball, go to golf,
Start playing.
and then come back.
Yeah. It's all a pathway to golf.
Yeah.
When you're 70.
Yeah. When you're 70. So. What else we got in there?
I also, on that note, I've also seen baseball players who I think make the transition really well from baseball, or something about, hitting the ball's being pitched so fast and there's so much spin on it and you have such little time to like read and react to that being able to translate that to firefights up at the net.
Oh, yeah.
I saw this show that said that there's superhumans in sports, and one of them was baseball players. And when you're at bat and this, fastball, curveball, whatever that's coming to you at however fast it's going, it's like literally a blink of an eye. And I've done it. I've been at baseball games and I do this and the pitch is gone. As soon as the pitcher's back and you blink your eye, it's literally gone. But they're saying that it's a superhuman trait of you're about to load and either you don't or you do go into that swing. And you don't really think about it. I mean, if you go into baseball, if you ever played baseball and everything, it really is. I mean, you see the guys that are in MLB and everything, and they're professionals and they're like crazy, they're super consistent and everything. That to me is that eye that they have.
Yeah.
So if you're playing a baseball player at the kitchen, yeah, that's something to think about. That they might get you on that one.
Yeah, they almost always have very fast hands.
Yeah.
And there's, I think, a couple things that go into that. One must be just training that like instant decision making
Yeah.
really quickly, just from, seeing the very first snippet of the ball and also trying to like read a pitcher,
Yeah.
see what they're doing and anticipate that. And then also, I think all top level baseball players basically have better than 20/20 vision,
Right.
and that their eye will just pick up details about a very fast moving object way better than the average person.
I have astigmatism, and that's why I'm not a professional baseball player. Just in case you guys were wondering.
It makes a lot of sense. Carlos on our team, Carlos Subero,
Yeah.
very fast hands.
Yep.
Quick.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. He's an awesome player.
Yeah, he is.
has
Only
that-
getting
he has
better,
that
too.
baseball, yes.
Definitely.
Because for me, it's like it's not that he's just starting, but he's still
He's still in the
going
infancy
up.
stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to learn still, and he's so good right now.
Yeah.
So
One of the hardest workers, too, I think I've seen in terms of like a training
and
sense.
drilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's in there grinding.
Yeah,
All
that's
time.
one of my favorite things is to get better, and I had to drill, because if I didn't drill, I'd be like a 3-0 going down for for me, I just had to drill, and I had to keep drilling, and I was always trying to find people to drill. We drilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never saw him again. He's like, this is how this guy drills? I'll call you, don't call me.
I think at that stage, what was that? That was in the middle of the summer, too.
Gosh, I don't
Orange Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, shoot.
That that hookup kind of started to fade quickly.
Yeah.
Being able to use those courts. When I
Yeah.
first started drilling there,
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause
anytime I wanted.
Yeah, because you were telling me, I think that's where you were drilling with Ed.
Yeah.
That you guys drilled. Yeah.
Anytime
that
I
was
wanted,
like at the end when we were drilling it.
everyone in the neighborhood started playing.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Everyone started
Yeah.
playing.
Because there was only that one or two courts. Was it two?
Two.
It was
They only had two courts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that quickly went away. And you talk about wanting to drill. I was driving an hour and a half to go drill with Mike every Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
I would go.
Really?
I would
Damn.
drive an hour and a half. I'd leave at like 6:30 in the morning. Drive to Melbourne, drill with Mike Forster.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike.
Yeah,
Thanks for everything, buddy. Drill with him for like an hour and a half, and then drive back. Right,
Okay.
just to
Would he
get
give
that.
you like $15 for gas money?
I felt like I
Here's a
needed to
gas
pay
card.
him back then.
No, he's an awesome player and an awesome player to drill with as well. You learn a lot
So
from that guy.
knowledgeable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Is there anything about Crush Yard that's maybe not well known or underappreciated by players or general public that you'd like to get out there?
Yeah. It's funny you asked that. I would say the biggest thing that we ran into early on is that people think that they need to be a member to come to Crush Yard. So
Mhm.
one of the great things I think about our model is that you do not have to be a member to come to Crush Yard. We always just say our members get more, but no, we're open to the public. You can find any of our activations on through our app, which is called Crush Yard Go.
Okay.
You download that app and create a profile with us. You have access to everything. All the pricing's on there. You can book, register, and pay for anything that we offer right through the app.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching today's episode at OAP-TV. I am Coach Brian.
Coach Kyler.
And thank you so much for Evan. Thank you for coming on, and hopefully we can have you more episodes in the future. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, man, this was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys for watching to the end.
And we're going to be giving away, what is that?
Pickleball Apes, hot brand right now.
Yeah.
Their new Pulse X paddle.
The Pulse X.
It's an elongated, pretty standard squared off shaped paddle.
Mhm.
Really good.
And that's that one's the Kevlar one?
Yeah, Kevlar face, foam injected edges.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If
And
we-
how are we gonna give that away? You're gonna like, comment in the comments. What is it?
Yeah.
Go Ape?
Comment "Go Ape" if you want a chance to win that pack.
Anything with the word ape.
Yeah, anything with
Comment
ape.
anything in comments. Ape something, whatever that you want to do.
Be creative.
Yeah.
Not too creative.
That'll give you a chance to win. So for everybody here, thank you guys for watching. See you on the courts. Peace.